Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy. I hope you're doing really well wherever or whenever in the world that you are. Welcome to the vlog. If you're new here, you may notice that I'm in a very different filming locale, and that is because I'm currently on a very sweet and wholesome mother-daughter trip with my mom. We are in Asheville, North Carolina, staying on this very sweet little lake, and the weekend is going to be full of reading, floating on the river, going to nice fancy dinners, and reading and reading and reading. So in full transparency, I don't have a set TBR for this reading vlog. I have some things that I've downloaded and I have ready to go if the mood strikes, but I think you'll just have to stick with me and see what we end up reading. LOL, I love that I just noticed my sexy reflection in the TV. Anyways, so on the way here, we flew and I did finish this book. Oh my God, A Fragile Enchantment. And it was okay. It was a very sweet PG with some moments of PG-13 fantasy romance. She's a dressmaker, a tailor, and she has this magical ability to weave feelings into a wardrobe, into the clothing, and she gets this assignment to essentially dress this prince and his future bride, and along the way they get to know each other, and plot / romance ensues. It was okay. It was a little lackluster. I liked, what was the main girl's name? I've already forgotten her name. Neve, maybe? And I liked Kit, the male main love interest, and I liked them together, but this book was really missing some tension, something to draw you in. It was just kind of light and fluffy and predictable. So if you're looking for a very low stakes fantasy romance, I think this might be a good fit. I think I'm just craving something with a little more passion than this book had. So I think I'm gonna land on like a 3 stars, maybe 3.5. All in all, it was just okay. So I am currently reading on my Kindle the second prequel book in the Mortal Fate series by byeee. It's called The Sword. So that's sort of what I'm reading in the moment as I'm waiting. My mom is in the shower. We're going out to dinner in just a little bit. So that's kind of what I'm reading now. I'm still very early on, maybe just the 3rd chapter. So I'm getting a little bit of the world building from his perspective and learning a little bit about the history of the world. So that's been pretty interesting. And yeah, like I said before, welcome to the vlog. I hope we have beautiful weather. It's very hot, but hopefully it'll be good for outdoorsy things and reading things. And yeah, I think that's all for the intro. So like I said, welcome, and I'll check in with you a little bit later. Maybe I'll show you some B-roll of dinner. We're also thinking about getting some drinks. I'm very excited. Good morning, everybody. It's the next day. It's just about 8:30. What do I have to update you about? Let's see. Dinner and the place we went to drinks for before, both were excellent. We had great conversation, delicious food. It was fun to get to walk around kind of the main city center of Asheville. So it was fun to boop around a little bit. Yeah, it was a great evening. I read a little bit more in The Sword, but not enough to like update you guys at all. I'm reading as my bedtime read right now, A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall. I'm about a third of the way in. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this. Like, this has a lot of potential for me, which is why I'm gonna keep reading it, but it's moving a little bit slow, and I'm not sure how I feel about either character right now. Like, it just feels a little one note. But I don't know, it's still early, so I'm gonna keep reading, keep listening during bedtime, see if I don't know, turn a corner and like really become invested. Because I feel like that's a lot of the reviews that I've seen is people say it starts a little bit slow, but it's worth the payout. So I'm gonna keep reading. Today we've got some fun plans. In a little bit, we're gonna go out to breakfast, which is wonderful. This afternoon, we're going Zen tubing. So we're gonna pack our Kindles, some adult bevies, maybe a couple snacks, and we're gonna drift down the river. And I can't wait, it's gonna be really fun. It's a hot one, so hopefully it'll be refreshing and fun. And then this evening, we're doing another like drinks and dinner outing. So it should be a fun day. Take you along. I'll check in with you as much as I can. And yeah, that's it for now. I wanted to do a little bit of a room tour. So as you can see, we're in kind of a bunk style cabin. There's a loft up top. Sorry, our stuff is everywhere, but we've got a kitchen. In the back corner, there are the bunk beds. I had the bottom bunk, and then there's a room at the very back where my mom slept. This cabin can apparently sleep 8, but I think it would be pretty tight. Here's a little bit of a close-up of the bunk bed and my mom's room. There's the bathroom. Yeah, it was a very cute place. It was bigger than we were expecting, which was nice to have a little more space. There's our kitchen and all of our stuff. We made it our home. Hello. It's quite a bit later. I think it's just about 4 o'clock, maybe 4:30. We've gotten back from tubing. It was so much fun. We did have one tragedy. I lost my hat, which is very sad, but it was my own fault. I decided to go swimming and I was a little reckless getting in and out of my tube. So, oops. All things considered, though, it was so peaceful. We didn't get to read quite as much because it required a little more paddling than we were expecting, but it was still very fun. We saw lots of dragonflies. We saw some beautiful birds. No snakes, thank goodness. So all in all, it was a really good time. Now we're just kind of winding down. We had a little snack. We're gonna read before we shower and get ready for dinner and drinks again this evening. I'm very excited. We're going to a Japanese smokehouse this evening, so it should be very unique, fun food. So I'm very excited. I think that's all my update. I haven't read too much more. I think I'm on like chapter 4 in my Kindle in The Sword by byeee. I like it okay. You know, it's definitely doing a lot of the foundational world building. And I very much get the sense that these fae beings really hate the witches. And of course, you learn from the first book that his fated mate is a witch. And so I can only imagine the drama that's going to come when they finally meet in book 1 of the series. So, you know, I'm enjoying it, but it's certainly not gripping me. It just feels important for laying some of the groundwork for the series, which I guess is the whole point. So all that to say, I'm going to get back to reading. I'll read a little bit more and I'll check in with you guys after dinner. Sorry, one more thing before I log off for the moment. I just can't get over how beautiful the view is from our porch. We do have a sweet little hot tub set up right there, so we might do the hot tub at some point. But that's the river. It's just so peaceful. I love it. Good morning from my little bed nook. Look at this, I got a little night light. It's kind of like a bunk bed. I don't know if you can see over there. Well, where my towel is, there's stairs to go to the upstairs bunk. Anyways, it's been very comfy, very cozy. It is just after 9, maybe 9:30 almost. And we had another wonderful meal. Last night we went to a Japanese smokehouse and it was sort of tapas style, like it was small plates that you can share. And my mom and I went crazy. We tried so many things. Everything was so unique and delicious. We had a great night and it was beautiful out. It wasn't too hot for the first time in a while. So we sat outside and we enjoyed good conversation, the beautiful little garden scenery. It was really wonderful. We also got drinks before at a very funky, quaint little spot called, I think it was like Antidote at the Chemist. And it was very cool. They had some really unique seasonal cocktails that were very fun to try. So all that to say, it was a wonderful evening. We have a fun day in store ahead. But before I chat about today, let's do a quick reading check-in. I'm about 70% done with The Sword. And I don't know. I really enjoyed The Scepter, like for what it was. The Scepter is the first prequel in this little series. It was interesting. It was a little bit more gripping, a little more fast-paced, and you got to meet the female main character at a time of stress, and you got to know a lot about her considering how short that little prequel is. This is a little bit longer and it's not nearly as interesting. Yes, we're getting some important world building and yes, I'm getting some context for who likes and hates whom, but not a lot is going on, or at least not a lot right now. And Soren, because this book is following Soren, he's not very likable right now. And maybe that's the point. He's super arrogant, very rude, and he thinks he knows best. He's not very patient. He doesn't feel like a good man, but you see glimpses, I guess. Sorry, you can hear the coffee machine spitting the coffee. You see glimpses of him being really loyal, or talking about his loyalty, and maybe being really inclusive or progressive, considering the very conservative high fae politics or court whatever. So I guess there's some hope there that he's not a total asshole. I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm feeling. I'm antsy to just get started with the series, with book 1. So my goal was to finish this today, which I think is totally doable. There's maybe 50 minutes left according to my Kindle. And so that's my reading plan today, is to finish this. And then if and when I finish this, I'll move on to A Lady for a Duke. I've been listening to it before I go to bed. And to be honest, I fall asleep within one chapter. So I am still chilling at chapter 14. I haven't really honestly read more than that. So yeah, those are the reading plans. On our agenda today, this morning, we don't have anything formal scheduled. We're not going out to breakfast. We're just going to eat a little something here at our place. And later today, we're going to this big fancy schmancy estate called the Biltmore. I don't know anything about it. I'll insert a picture here, but we're going to get to do a little audio tour of the estate. And yes, I'm really curious to get to see this big building. It's giving Downton Abbey estate, but in the US. So we shall see. I think that's all the updates for now. I'll check in with you guys a little later. Alrighty, hello. It's a couple hours later. I finished The Sword and I don't know. I'm into it. I think I was originally oh, when I finish The Sword, I'll pick up A Lady for a Duke. And I've changed my mind. I want to jump right into the Mortal Fates series. So I just downloaded book 1 and I'm about to start. I think The Sword, I'm going to be honest, I don't know how necessary these prequels are. Of course, time will tell as I'm reading the first book how much background information from these prequels is relevant for my understanding of the story, to be determined. I definitely think Soren is an egotistical prick. I think he has good motivations for his people and for his kingdom, but he also is like very arrogant, very selfish, very self-absorbed, and like self-righteous. Like he thinks his way is the right way. He knows everything. Like I'm not sure that I like him. So I know that this is going to be an enemies to lovers romance. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to believe it. I don't know if I'm going to be into it. We shall see. I really liked Rook after the scepter. I found her very likable. So I don't know if I'm going to root for this romance. I'm very curious. And I think that energy is why I want to jump right into book one rather than switching gears to the historical romance, because this is what I'm in the mood to read. So that's what I'm going to do. It is, I think, just about noon. So we're going to read for a little bit longer, maybe make something small for lunch, like a little amuse-bouche before we head out to the Biltmore estate. And yeah, I'll take you guys with us. I'm hoping for some beautiful views. I don't remember if I mentioned this before, but part of your admission ticket is a complimentary wine tasting. So I think we're gonna do that. We're gonna venture around the gardens, do an audio tour. So I'm very excited, but we're gonna try and stretch our visit there up through dinner. So in a little bit, I wanna get ready for like being out and about town. But all that to say is I'm really enjoying reading. It's a beautiful day. My mom and I have quite a nice little setup on our porch, and we're just enjoying ourselves so much. So that's all I got as far as a reading check-in right now. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Good morning, good morning. I'm sad today is our last day. We leave in a few hours for the airport. So sad. I got pretty far into whatever the first book is in the Mortal Fate series by byeee. And I get it. I get why people recommend that you read the prequels before you get to this book. Even though the prequels are like fine, they're so, they do a really important thing where they create a lot of tension before these two characters meet in book one. So like, I get it. You should read them if you're thinking about picking up the series. It's been really fun. I'm excited to continue reading this morning. Sorry, you can hear the coffee. Yeah, we don't have any plans today other than relaxing on the porch, reading. We might go get some breakfast in a little bit, but we also might just snack on whatever we have left in the fridge. So yeah, really chill morning / early afternoon. Our flight today is at about 5. So we asked for a late checkout and we got one. So we're gonna leave here around 3 o'clock, which I'm so sad about. We've had such a great trip. Yesterday, our time at the Biltmore Estate was so cool. It was very fancy. We got to do a house tour, which I know, I took B-roll, so I know you would have seen, but we did that. We went to a winery. We had a complimentary wine tasting, which was delightful. And then we went out to dinner, and it was just like a wonderful, wonderful day. So I'm sad that we're leaving, but of course I'm like excited to go home and see Frances. I miss her. So bittersweet. Yeah, like I said, no real big plans. I'm gonna keep reading. If I have any other updates, of course I'll check in, but this might be our last little check-in for the vlog, because I think if I read more, I might be getting close to time to leave, so I don't want it to be too rushed. So yeah, you know what? I've made the executive decision. This is where I leave you. I hope you've had fun. I've had the best trip. Reading and doing fun things with my mom has been really special. I'm really glad that we got to do this together. So I hope you're well wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video soon. Bye.